find out how I improved the speaker in this Hornby Class 50. From this to this. Hello and welcome back with me, Graham, at Woodhill Park. A while back I bought a couple of Curascale Class 50s and they turned out to be lovely models, but it got me thinking about my Hornby Class 50. And my Hornby Class 50 originally had TTS sound in it, then I upgraded it to TXS sound, the Hornby HM 7000 system, but I put an iPhone speaker in it and it never really sounded that great, and it's been put to shame since I've been messing around with the Curascale 50s I bought, and it sounds very tinny, so I decided to upgrade this to a better speaker. And I thought, what better speaker to put in it other than using the Curascale, what they call it, a Cura Thrash speaker, which is actually in this Curascale 50s that I bought. So obviously the sound profile is different because one's Hornby and the other one is by Curascale. Anyway, I took this loco you see behind me apart and fitted in a better speaker, as I'm saying. So I'll give you a look at what I did to fit it in. And I've already fitted it, so I really just will open it up and give you a rundown on where I fitted it, and a little sound test afterwards really. As it's pretty warm up here and it's been really warm over the past few days, I haven't really had a lot of other things I could do up here. It was one point it was 37 degrees up here. At the moment I think it's just a cosy 24, which is also a bit warm, but I thought you might just like to see this speaker I fitted and have a listen, and afterwards I think I'll just show the trains running. So over to myself at the bench with this Hornby 50 apart. This Hornby Class 50 can be rather awkward to take the body off of. It's because you've got louver vents either side and they tend to trap the die-cast body, but as long as you shim it in the right place with some plastic shims that hold the louver vent back, it becomes a reasonably straightforward job. There's a couple of other lugs that hold the body on up this end, but the main part to watch is the louvers, as I said. And don't forget the connections for the detailing on the buffer. There's a couple of plugs that's plugged in to the buffer detail and is attached to the body or the cover, and the ladders that fall off. So there's quite a few bits that fall off of this if you're not careful. Then carefully should just wobble it and should just come apart. That's it. Now this is quite an old model. I think I even bought it second hand. But you can see I put the Cura Thrash speaker in here quite comfortably. In the past I think I removed the fan assembly because there was a fan sort of drive unit that used to run off the flywheel, and they're notorious for slowing the motor down and causing problems, and just to watch a fan spin on top, I didn't think it was worth it, so I removed that a while ago. And so you can remove all that, and that gives you a lovely space for one of these speakers, which sounds a hell of a lot better than any other speaker that I've had in here. Now I've already had this apart, as I said, and I've put the chip in there, and it's got to stay alive up this end, because I think it's a definite, you need to stay alive with the Hornby HM 7000 system. It just lets you down otherwise, and it's perfect when you got to stay alive. So there's a stay alive here, and the chip is strapped in here with some tape, with it taped underneath to stop it from shorting through with any of the components on the board, but still left open to the air to allow it to keep cool. So I don't smother it in tape, and I don't use blue tack or black tack because it all sweats and goes sticky and makes a right mess, especially if it gets hot. And then, even though the Acura Thrash came with the right plug, because you can buy them with the right plug for the chip, it was too short, so I had to lengthen the wires, which I did, and put actually an original wire that comes with the speaker for the chip, which probably next to useless really. I have put a few in the housings that they supply, but they don't sound very good, whereas this Acura Thrash speaker really is the bee's knees. It sounds great. Anyway, so that's what I did. I just carefully just put some Evo stick to sit this in place on top of the chassis, and it's sitting there fine, and it doesn't interfere with anything. Now I'm just going to check this over again, because I keep putting the body back on and forgetting something, and I found a little bit of trim that come off, and I'm just going to glue that back, and then I'll put it back together and put it on the rails, and I'll put it alongside the new Acura Scale 50, and we'll run them up together and see what they sound like. I mean, as I said, this loco's not going to sound as good as the new Acura Scale, but being it has got the same speaker that they use, it will sound a hell of a lot better. And the profile file that Hornby supply online is, I think, possibly an upgrade of the Class 50 TTS sound what they used to supply in their chips. It does sound a bit better. It's probably because of the multi-channel chips they use now, but it definitely sounds better with this speaker, as it's got a lot lower notes, and you notice a lot more sound range compared with a cheap sort of speaker, or even an iPhone speaker that I quite often use. So I think it's well worth it. As I said, I did buy this loco second hand, and I may have discovered why somebody wanted to sell this, because I've been having trouble putting the body back on, and I just discovered it's got some Mazak rot, but only on the plate that the lights sit on, the PCB with the lights. And what I've gone and done, you can see the state of the plate, it's all falling to bits. It's just gone like cheese, like it does. It explodes with like the impurities in the metal. The other one up the other end seems okay, but while there's like remnants of it, I've actually traced round it on some plastic card, and I've cut out a replacement which sits rather nicely in there and looks okay. I think I'll try and zoom in, put the camera on it, but I'm in the way really, because I didn't expect to do this. I didn't set the camera up in the right place. But if I move in with the camera and I turn the loco around, right, you can see this plate here, and you can see the if I can get it in the shot, what's left of the old plate, and it's gradually breaking down and exploding. So I cut a new piece out, and that's what I've done. I've fitted it in here, screwed it all in. I've had to glue the PCB board back with the lights onto it, but that's fine. So you find things like this when you do a bit of maintenance. It's never straightforward, but that's the wonders of model railway. Keeps you on your toes all the time. Right, I shall turn this round and I'll zoom out, and we'll put the body back on and finally get it back on the rails and see what it sounds like with the speaker in. Let's hope it all goes together again. Should do. I might have to do this bit off camera because it's a bit fiddly. Right, it's all put back together and it's back on the rails behind me, and I'll do a sound test. I won't talk over this as I'm softly spoken, as everybody knows, and you won't hear a dicky bird out of me with the sound that comes out of the locos, as it's pretty loud. So what I'll do a cold start on the Hornby and maybe a thrash, and then a cold start on the Accurascale 50 and the thrash maybe on that as well, and you can listen and hear what the differences are. I think the Hornby is much improved now, but still way off the quality of what the Accurascale 50 sound is. But nevertheless, I'll get on with it and shut up now and listen to the locos. So here we go. hopefully you enjoyed that little sound test, and you can draw your own conclusions. But I think it's really improved the Hornby sound chip, and made it sort of sound closer to the Acura Scale new model, and I'm very pleased with the upgrade. But as I say, you can draw your own conclusions really. It's quite a personal thing. Anyway, I'll leave you with a bit of a running session that I did on my phone, so it's a little bit clumsy, but when I did it, it was rather hot up here. As you can guess, I didn't want all the sort of studio light I use and the main camera on. It was way too hot, so it was a quick come up here and grab some footage. But all the same, I thought you might want to see some, and I'll play this video out by showing it to you. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now. It's a great place to have a layout until you try and film it, because you're very exposed to the outside world. So every man and his dog making a noise as usual outside, and it's take after take for me. Still, that's the fun of a loft layout. I've got fan noise in the background, I've got people shouting, doors banging. You try and shut the fans off and you roast up here. I don't think the shed would have been any better though. Probably just as bad, if not worse. I thought I'd show you the loco behind me, which is a Hornby Class 50. Show me putting a new speaker in it, as well as nearly knocking off the track. Best not to touch it when I'm not looking at it, eh? Find out how I improved the speaker in this Class 50 by Class Bone. Nick knock one, ding ding. Well, that was rubbish. Didn't do the cold start, did I? Oh, another noise outside. Every time I try and film, there's a delivery driver or a pigeon stamping on the roof. Another cut. What's also annoying is that I can hear a noise outside and it doesn't always come out on the camera. So I stop and do another take, only to find the first take was okay. Anyway, I've had enough now. It's bleeding hot up here. The fan's even going on the DCC controller and making a row, and not to mention all the other fans I've got going. So I'm off.